Hello and welcome. Let's just jump right in because today we are digging into something that is a huge point of frustration for so many of us over 50. You've probably been told your whole life, just walk more, do some stretching, stay active. But what if I told you that very advice might actually be what's holding you back? Does this sound familiar to you? I mean, you're putting in the work, you're doing the walks, you're doing the stretches, but you're still dealing with those nagging aches or maybe a feeling of weakness or that really frustrating sense that your balance just isn't what it used to be. It's so common, and it can really feel like you're fighting a losing battle. But I need you to hear this, and this is so important. It is not your fault. The problem isn't a lack of effort on your part. It's that the standard advice, the stuff we've all been told for years, completely misses the real root causes of what's happening in our bodies as we get older.
And that brings us to what I call the aging paradox. It's this weird situation where you feel like you're doing more and more to stay healthy, but you're actually seeing less and less progress. So let's break down what that actually feels like day to day. These aren't just a random list of complaints. They're all connected. That nagging joint pain, that feeling of heaviness in your legs, your balance feeling a little shaky, losing some muscle tone, and that fatigue you just can't explain, even when you're trying to be active, these are all signals that point to a much deeper underlying issue. And this quote right here just hits the nail on the head. We're so quick to just blame getting older. But think about it. You can't build a strong house on a crooked foundation. It doesn't matter how great your building materials are. And it's the same with our bodies. We have to address our fundamental alignment first. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain on two of these foundational issues that almost all conventional exercise advice just completely ignores. And trust me, understanding these two things is an absolute game changer. All right, first up is this incredible concept you may have never even heard of, your second heart. It's not a real heart, of course. It's the powerful muscle pump system in your calves. Every single time those calf muscles contract, they squeeze the veins in your lower legs and literally push blood back up towards your heart, fighting gravity the whole way. This system is absolutely essential for good circulation. So you might be thinking, well, I walk every day. Isn't that enough? And walking is great. But the thing is, it's often way too gentle. It relies on momentum, not that deep, powerful muscle contraction you need to really get that pump working. Targeted activation, on the other hand, is like flipping a switch and turning that pump on to full power. And the results? They're just staggering. Get this, a major review found that older adults who did specific exercises to target this calf pump saw a 42% reduction in ankle swelling. And that was in just 4 weeks. That's a huge, life-changing improvement in circulation from one simple, focused movement. Now for the second root cause. This one is all about your foundation, your body's command center, the pelvis. After decades of sitting and just unconscious habits, our pelvis can get tilted or slightly rotated out of its ideal position. And while that might not sound like a huge deal, it creates this massive domino effect through the entire body. This is so critical to understand. When your pelvis is out of alignment, it's like a switch gets flipped off. The communication line between your brain and your glute muscles gets fuzzy or even disconnected. So you can do squats and lunges all day long, but if those big, powerful muscles aren't even firing, then other weaker muscles like your lower back have to pick up the slack. And that's a recipe for pain and frustration. Okay, so now that we get the root causes, what's the solution? Well, here's the best part. It's not about more punishing workouts or pushing through pain. It's about being smarter. It's about using precise, gentle movements that speak directly to these foundational issues. Let's look at two incredibly powerful examples. First up is something called the wall hinge. Now, this is not a squat. It's not really a traditional strength exercise at all. I want you to think of it more like a reset button for your entire system. It's a drill that retrains your brain to find and use your glutes again. And it's so simple to do. You just stand with your back to a wall, maybe 6 or 8 inches away. Then you hinge from your hips, not your waist. That's key. Hinge back until you just gently tap the wall. And then, here's the magic. You just gently shift your weight side to side. That tiny little movement is what helps recenter your pelvis and basically forces those sleepy glute muscles to wake up and say, oh, hey, I'm here. And I have to say this again. The goal here is not muscle soreness. It's not about feeling the burn. It's about something way deeper. You are literally redrawing your body's internal map so that when you go out for a walk or climb stairs, The right muscles are firing automatically without you even having to think about it. Okay, next we have to directly address that second heart. The standing calf pump hold is probably the single most effective way to turn on that circulatory pump, push all that stagnant fluid out of your lower legs, and get your blood flowing properly. And again, precision is everything. You'll want to hold onto a chair for balance. The real power move here is the slow, controlled rise, and especially that 3 to 5 second hold at the very top. That's the moment when your second heart is working at its absolute max. If you just rush through these, you miss the entire benefit. What's so amazing about these kinds of mindful movements is that the benefits go way beyond just muscles and circulation. They have this incredibly profound effect on our nervous system and even our brain. I mean, this quote just captures it so perfectly. When we move slowly and with intention, we're sending a signal to our nervous system. We're telling it to switch from fight or flight mode to rest and repair mode. For a body that's been holding on to stress for decades, that is a powerful, powerful message. It's permission to finally let go. And this is all part of the brain-body connection. By improving your body's internal map, you move with more confidence and less hesitation. And get this, research shows that your ability to balance on one leg is actually a stronger predictor of longevity than your cholesterol levels. Isn't that wild? Better alignment means better posture, which boosts your confidence, and it helps break that vicious cycle where pain makes you afraid to move. So, what does this all add up to? Well, it's not just a handful of new exercises. It's a completely different philosophy. It's a whole new way of thinking about how we should move our bodies as we age. These are the new rules. You can throw the old no pain, no gain rulebook right out the window. It's about consistency over intensity. It's about finally listening to your body's signals instead of just pushing through. The goal is to reconnect first, then strengthen, and to see movement as a nourishing daily ritual, not a punishment you have to endure. If there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. For way too long, the story about aging has been about fighting your body, battling against it. But a far more effective and, frankly, more joyful approach is to understand how your body works now and to partner with it intelligently. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to ponder. What if we reframe this whole experience? What if aging isn't this inevitable decline we're all taught to fear? What if, instead, it's a deeper unfolding? An opportunity to gain a profound wisdom about our own bodies and to move with more intelligence and more freedom than ever before.